How you guys doing? Checking back in. On this video, I'm gonna give you the top 5 things that I learned from the rehab class that I took. And basically at the real estate group I'm a member of, twice a year they teach classes on different real estate topics, wholesaling. I'm about to take the rental one on Saturday. I'm gonna do a video on that, rehab and commercial, etc., etc. And this time around I decided to invest in myself and take the rehab class. And I'm going to give you the top 5 things that I learned from the class. The class is taught by two guys, two full-time rehabbers in the Baltimore area, and it's pretty cool. The first day, 8 hours, 9 to 5, you're sitting at a hotel, and they're telling you, going through they give you a notebook to go through, and basically telling you like the technical things, like what type of business structure you should put together, or the business structure that they use. They don't really give you, they really can't tell you the right thing, legal reasons. And different types of tidbits of knowledge. I'm gonna give you the top 5 things that I took away from the class. Number 1 is the 65% rule. Basically, this seems like to be like the bread and butter of flipping. 65% of the ARV. You find the ARV comes from the comparable houses, which are the recently sold houses in the area that are comparable to your house in beds, baths, and square footage. So basically, if you have a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath townhome, the houses within like a mile would be like your comps. Like, probably be best to get a comparable house that's sold like in the same development or something like that. That will give you a little bit better comp. And if this one house sold for a certain amount, it might be a little bit more. You have to look at how your house compares. If your house is a little bit smaller, you gotta think you probably can't get that amount. And a little tidbit, this is just from me, you guys probably wanna look at the median instead of the average. When you first get a realtor to pull your comps for you, if you're a realtor, you pull your own comps, you'll see they have an average and a median. But as far as flipping, when they pull these houses for you, they're going to give you the finished houses. So your data can only be skewed and have an outlier in the one direction. So that's just from statistics. Like if you have a statistical outlier only on one side, there's not going to be too many people who get lowballed. There's going to be some people who happen to overpay for houses. So to get like a better comp statistically, you probably should look at the median. But I'm new, I haven't flipped too many houses. That's just a statistics thing, because the realtor is gonna get rid of a lot of the cheap houses around there. So the only thing that's gonna mess up your average is something that's an outlier on the one end. If you have an outlier only on one end, you're supposed to use the median. That's just a statistics thing. So moving forward, you get the comps, and that's how you find the ARV. Like I said, I would use the median, but you can use the average or whatever you wanna use. And that's basically what your house is going to sell for, what you can realistically expect to get for your house. So let's say it's a $100,000 house. They recommend putting 0.65. So $65,000 would be the most you could offer on the house. But the tidbit is you have to include your rehab costs in it. So if the house is listed for 65, but it needs 20 grand of work to get it to those comparable houses, you have to offer them $45,000 basically. Or you can offer less. Of course, you can always offer less, but the most you can offer is $45,000, because you got to pay for the rehab, and then you got to pay for the house, and it all has to come in under that amount. Otherwise, you're going to be eating into your profit if you go over that 65%. And another little tidbit: if you have to use hard money, you might want to use 0.6%. 60% of the ARV, so you might want to use 60 grand to account for the hard money costs, or just to do a quick estimate if you want to hurry up and get some offers in, or you could just use the 0.65 method and subtract out your hard money costs, because you got to factor in the cost of your money, because in that 0.35%, that's where you're going to get the taxes and all those other things, your seller help, that's going to come out of that percentage. So when you're doing a flip, you want to make sure you look into the comps, make sure they're true comps, and make sure the price you think you're going to get is the actual after repair value. That's very important. And then the next thing, number 2, is a little tidbit that I learned from the class is, you got the ARV, you know how much it's going to cost to do the flip, But how are you going to get a contractor, or a contractor to get you the bid to find out how much it's going to cost to do the actual work that you can bring to a lender? So what you can do is a contractor who is, reputable is probably going to have some business, right? And where do the contractors get most of their supplies? From the big box hardware stores, Home Depot, Lowe's. I don't know what else there is, but like there's other stores. I can't think of them, Ace Hardware or something like that. And so if you go to those places, the good contractors is what I learned from the class. The good contractors, they're going to be there in the morning. So this is what I did. I went there 6 o'clock in the morning, sat in my car till Home Depot opened up, and all the guys who were there early in the morning, I went and talked to all these guys and got some great contractor leads, after, run background on them. But these are guys who are up early. They're getting their supplies before they hit the job. So, that says something about the guy. And then, when you could talk to somebody face to face, you can see if they're full of shit or not. You can really get a feel from somebody looking them in their eyes, and that's what I like about it. So I was up there early in the morning. I got to talk to the guys at the pro desk, ask a couple questions. Home Depot, of course, can't refer you to anybody. But, you can shoot a name bomb. Oh, no, they're trash. Oh, you never know what you're going to get until you actually go try it. So that's something, a little tidbit I recommend people trying, because I met some great contractors. If nothing, just some, maybe some friends in the future. But I actually met some contractors doing that, getting up early, going to Home Depot and seeing the guys who are out there trying to get their work done early in the morning. And so number three thing I'm going to give you guys that I took away was find the money first, because it's no point in looking at these deals if you don't have the money lined up. And that's where I was. I had like a house in the Baltimore County. It was like in the Perry Hall, White Marsh area. I had it. I was looking at it. I finally got the contractor to come out to do a bid from doing the Home Depot thing. It was, the comps were like 230, and the house was listed for like 120. So I probably would have still offer them like maybe like 100, 110. 110 I might could have made it work. But like 100 or 90 probably would have been sweet. But I didn't have the money lined up, so I was running around trying to find guys to, hurry up and loan me money on the house. I lost the house. Wasted time, basically wasted the estimate with the contractor, wasted the realtor's time, wasted my time really by not having the money lined up. They told me to have the money lined up in the class. I didn't listen. I don't know, I guess, you're dealing with a lender. I guess I just got cold feet, got kind of scared or whatever. But that's something I recommend you guys doing, getting the money lined up first. Because that way you're not wasting time. Basically, I just wasted like not 2 weeks, probably like a week, scheduling all that stuff together, ducking off from work, making a quick phone call here or here, texting, and doing all that little stuff for no reason, because I didn't have the money lined up. I was being a pretender. I got the money lined up now, so this deal I'm looking at Fed Hill, I'm going to put the offer in, and hopefully that works out. But I got my money lined up, so hopefully, I haven't done a deal yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I got the money lined up, proof of funds, and all that good stuff. So that's something I recommend you guys doing, so you're not just spinning your wheels, wasting your time. And then the fourth thing I'm going to recommend to you guys is that you buy in a retail neighborhood. You don't want to buy in a neighborhood where people only rent houses, because people who have the ability to buy a house, good credit, et cetera, have a few options. So, those people want to live around other people who live in their house, because, it's a reputation that people who live in the house, own the house, take a little bit better care of it, and in Baltimore, like, there's a lot of neighborhoods that are where you would only rent a house. Like, you would not buy a house there. It would not be worth your money. And there's a lot of places where you would only buy a house because renting a house would probably be too expensive to live there. So you want to get into retail neighborhoods, and it's probably a price point in your area where you kind of know if that's a retail house or a rental house as far as ARV. In Baltimore, probably like under 120, under $120,000 is probably, from what I've been seeing, is probably all, and running it past other investors, that's probably the point here where like below that it's probably rental neighborhood. The ARV is like 120, probably under that, probably rental neighborhoods. So you probably can figure that out at in your market, in your niche, and figure out what works for you. And number 5, this is the best thing that I learned from the class. At the end of the class, basically, like they said, everyone who signed up, we'll give you an hour of our time, free of charge. You don't have to pay us anything. We might come out to your house or whatever you need. We'll give you an hour for free. So me, I'm thinking, what if I need 2 hours? So I go talk to one of the instructors and say, hey, what if I need more time? And he basically said that if I wanted to partner on a deal, I would have to find the deal, had to find the money, but we would split the profit 50-50, and he would help me walk me through the deal, basically. So that's deal number 5. I mean, not deal number 5. See, deals on my brain. That's number 5, that more experienced investors may be willing to partner with you. And, 50% of a deal is better than deal you make money than 100% of a deal you don't make money. So this is something I'm going to do because, it's nice to have that hand on your back. And also down the road, there's basically 15% of a flip. So if we get a house flip at $200,000, we probably make 30, and he would get $15,000. But me, I'm banking it. That's $15,000 in the future, and that's $15,000. That's 15. If I make you $15,000, I can call you phone whenever I feel like it. Whenever I need to, not whenever I feel like. I'm not going to abuse it or anything, but whenever I need it. So I'm sure if I can do this, make that connection, I'm going to call him over more than $15,000 worth of stuff. Like I got caught here. Hey, what do you think? My contractor dipped out on me at the last minute. You think you could send one of your guys over here? I think that 15 grand, I'm going to make that back, and then some. Plus all the connections that he knows, and he's big into the real estate group in Baltimore, our real estate group, so he can put me in contact with other guys, and these other guys will be able to take me more serious. I mean, there's private money lenders who can take me serious. I can say, hey, I did a deal with X, Y, and Z. That's going, his name ring bells with these people, so I'm banking that as a bet on myself. But, more experienced investors will be willing to help you. That's something I didn't think of, and that's something I didn't learn to the very end of the class. So that's something I recommend you try. Even if it's they don't want to partner with you, you might be able to pay them by the hour to look over your deal, look over your draw schedule, look over your contractor's bids. It's going to be worth the money if this is your first flip like mine. So that's something I definitely recommend. So you want to look at number 1, 65% rule. Number 2, hit Home Depot early in the morning. Number 3, you want to make sure a retail neighborhood. I know that was actually number 4. So then number 4 is, what was number 4? Oh. Get the money lined up was number 2, so push all those back. And number 5 was the most important one. I'm really stuck on number 5, that somebody may be willing to partner with you, and that might be what you need to give you the confidence to do your first deal. So it doesn't hurt to ask, and I hope you guys do ask. I know I don't have any deals under my belt as far as flipping. I know I haven't done a flip yet, but I'm a young bull, and I'm hungry. And I hope you guys are too. And I'm about to go to bed now, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below, or you can message me, and if I can answer it, I'll answer it for you. Have a good one.